All right, the next assignment is Lab 8. Active memory capture. Last year's recording is right there. It's already there. Now the file this time is, I gave you a link to the memory capture. It's 256 megs. You do not need to download it from here, but I just put it there in case you want it. Okay, like in case you want inside your vSphere or something, because that goes straight to my Dropbox account. Now, if you click on this, you can actually see the PDF, which we'll be looking at. So that will open and you can read it. We're going to go over that in a second. I added a rubric just to make some of you happy. But there's always good and bad. Give you some points for telling me about the traffic. I'm looking for 3 things. Problem is, if you find 3 things and those aren't the 3 things I'm looking for, you get 0. So as I say, it's good and bad. I'm not going to tell you I'm looking for this one thing. I can't because I don't give it away. But there's 3 things that should stand out. Okay? So now you know how many I'm looking for. But I can't say I'm looking for this white remote control because that gives the answer away. Okay? If you put the 3 things in, those aren't what I'm looking for.
75 points.
Okay, I'm just telling you. So I'm looking for 4 things overall, plus, you know, the last 5 points is what would you do? But you'll understand when you see the assignment. Okay? But that, so, don't show this again. That means until tomorrow. Okay. All right, so everybody okay on that rubric? You kind of understand what I meant by that? There's 3 main items in the system I'm looking for. And tell me about the traffic. And you need to put some detail into this. Don't just say it's a white remote control. One of the items better tell me it's a white remote control with 5 buttons on it and a blue button, and this button does that, and this button does that, and what the heck is it? Okay, there's a couple of them that you can just tell me the name. But there's one in particular of the items I want to know about. So if you find it, great. That doesn't mean 25 points. You need to tell me something about it. Okay? Kind of got an idea how that rubric works. I really couldn't put too much more into it without giving it away. That's not happening. Okay. Now, well, I could remove it very easily.
No, I'm just saying, I'm not seeing it.
It's not showing?
I'm on the website right now. I'm not seeing it.
Huh.
Under assignments?
Yeah.
I
It's
don't.
not on here. Hey,
I don't know.
I'm telling you, I'm not seeing it.
I don't know how to make it show up any header. Let's go edit and make sure I turn it on. I even said use Rubric for grading. I actually let you submit something this time. Okay, let me go back into let me edit Rubric then. Okay, edit Rubric. Use this Rubric for grading. I mean, I
see it.
You see it this line? Operator error.
I went to the Canvas site.
I don't know. I just.
For the Lab 8 active memory capture. When did you just put it up there? Just
Oh, a couple hours ago. Then I I think I added the rubric just recently, and then
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Just I'd say in the last 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out how to put it up. Okay, now let's talk about the actual assignment before we walk through. Okay. Come on.
Yeah, it came up. Finally came up.
So you got it now? Operator error, just like I thought. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. You will be using FTK. You'll be using FTK 4 or 5. I think I got 5 installed. You can't run it on your own laptop. The reason is it has to connect to an FTK database. And you don't have one.
I tried accessing it, FTK at home to the virtual atmosphere, and it's saying the same error. It won't connect it to the database.
Okay, well, we'll check that. I didn't test it today. That way, if there's an issue, I'll see it on mine today, too. Okay, but we're going to use FTK and walk through that tonight. So you got a machine on your network that's creating excessive amounts of network traffic. So there is some traffic, Okay, you need to look at the traffic. Memory capture has been performed on the machine. Analysis must be done to determine if it's normal or not. No service out of the normal exists on the network. In other words, it's this machine. There's nothing else going on. Okay, everybody do it yourself. Okay.
Why do you always say that?
That way, if I keep these two turning the same thing, you didn't do it yourself. No, I've had a lot of people in the past. I actually had some students once took a test. First 10 questions for one student did, the second 10 another student did. They both hit submit at the same time, and then this guy did the second 10, and this guy did the first 10. Both hit submit. I mean, I can tell when you hit submit and save and everything. It's like they both had the same exact score. Then I looked, and so sorry. Okay. Using FTK 4 or 5, I think we're set up with 5 now. Examine it, which I'll show you how to do. Here's how you add the evidence in. On the Manage Evidence tab, it's going to come up when you start your case, hit Cancel. Okay. Then you need to import a memory dump, which I already made. Call it whatever you feel like, but Lab 8 is acceptable. Okay. And select the file, and then it's paired into the Volatile tab. Active memory is the physical memory that's currently running on the machine. Okay, the memory dump is located under the student Dropbox. If you were to connect to that link from inside your machine, inside the virtual machine now, you'll come up and ask for a username, and that's rows / your vSphere name, like it says there. Whatever you logged into vSphere with, so you should know that at the point. Okay? It's called Lab 8 Memory Dump, along with the IP address and the date I did it. Okay, I'll show it to you. It's not really in the Dropbox, but it is located on the assignment page. I showed you it's right there at the top. You can click on it and get to it if you want to. All right, the extra credit, no one's been able to do it. I do not think it's possible. But there were some websites used with usernames and passwords. But in order for this to work, I had to use a Windows XP machine with a very small amount of memory. So if I'm capturing the memory and I have gigs and gigs of memory, that means we're going to have gigs and gigs of file. So since I had a small amount of memory, I'm pretty sure the website login information was paged out to the page file, which means it won't be available in memory. So I don't think you can find it. I mean, you can look for it. I just don't think you'll find it. Okay. All right. This next part, the basic steps you are not going to do. Okay, in red, you do not need to do this. The reason is, in the past, the students did it. The problem is, it can only be done one at a time. Okay? You had to install the agent, connect to the machine, capture the memory, disconnect, wait 5 minutes before the next student could get in. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you wait until the last day, and it is Thomas, isn't it? And Thomas forgets to disconnect the agent while he's working on a project for 8 hours, then the rest of you can't get in. So what I ended up doing in the past is I'd literally have to go in there and say, you know, man, Thomas has been in here forever, so I had to manually disconnect him. And then another person will log in, they forget to disconnect. And it's not that he would have done it on purpose. I even had the issue. When I did it, it's not a normal thing. You capture the memory, you start analyzing. Oh crap, I forgot to go in there and disconnect the network connection to it. So it's just easier I did for you. Okay? Yeah, what I did is I had a machine up and running, and I installed the FTK agent to connect to the machine, capture the memory. All I did. Here's the exact steps I did. I acquired the RAM. I did not acquire the page file because that would have been a lot of stuff for y'all to analyze. Okay, then I would, and here's the part. Immediately after you acquire the evidence, you need to go in and unmount the drive. That's where people would forget. Like, oh, I forgot to unmount the drive. Because it would literally stay connected forever. And then Bryce would be trying to log in all day long, and then he couldn't. It got to be such an issue, especially in the last day or two. Okay? Then it literally took, after you disconnected correctly, it still took an additional 2 minutes before the next person could even get in. So it was tough. Okay? All right, we'll be using FTK, and I'm going to show you how to create a case in FTK. We haven't used FTK 4 yet, have we? 4 or 5. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Delete your case when you're done. The reason is, your case is stored in the database, but it's also partially on your virtual machine. So when you shut your machine down, without deleting your case. And if I go try to delete your case, what tries to connect to your virtual machine, which is not on, and then after I think about 2 of those, and it locks up the entire system, then I have to go in and reboot the entire database, and just delete your case. It's much easier. I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Says your approach should detail the processes out of the ordinary. There's 3 of them I'm looking for. 3? Yeah, 3 of them. Okay. Tell me about them. I found this white remote control. I think it's used to control the projector, that kind of stuff. Okay, just tell me what you found. Don't tell me about the normal stuff. Do not tell me you found the FTK agent. I mean, that's there. Yeah, it's not normal, but it was made for this thing. I mean, I'm using it to capture the memory, so don't sit there. Don't tell me you found command stick, CMD stick. That's also part of FTK. I mean, if any of the processes link to FTK at all, ignore them, because that's part of FTK. So many people tell me about, oh, I found the FTK agent. Yeah, I used it. I mean, so, okay. I should explain what you think the processes are doing, whether they're malicious or not. I only really want to know about the malicious ones. Okay. So, if you find something, say you find serviceshost.exe, that can be a virus, but it's probably not. But most of the time, it's not a virus. So don't assume services host, since it could be a virus, is a malicious thing. Okay, there's 3 definitely standout malicious things on there. Okay? So, if you feel they are malicious, provide information about how they can be removed and the ways then you can harden the system so they don't get on there again. That's that what would you do question. Okay? You should also, says, you are to also examine the traffic in general. Look at the traffic. There's something going on in the traffic. Just tell me what it is. Okay? It shouldn't be that hard to figure out. I'm going to show you kind of where to see that. All right? So everybody care, the assignment's not that tough. You can actually complete it quite quickly as long as you find the stuff. Okay, and I did record the entire thing.
Going back to the memory dump
Sure.
file, you can just pull that and put on the virtual desktop, right?
Yes, right. It's on. I put it in Canvas. I put a link to it, but you can just take it from the Dropbox and put it on the desktop.
I noticed looking at your last year's video, there's the folder that's on everybody's virtual desktop that goes to the server.
Right.
When you double click on it, there's a password required.
Okay, it depends. We'll have to look which folder it is because William had created a separate folder which didn't work right. But so it might be there, it might not. But if it does ask for a password, it's this one right here. Rows, this right here. Rows slash, whoops. This rows slash vSphere name. Rows slash KDewey and password. Okay. Okay. So all right. So that's the assignment. And I'm going to stop this, and then we're going to talk about how to do it.